Welcome to the Abundant Living with Angels, Oracles, and EFT Transformational Course. Hi, I'm Philip Montrose with my wonderful partner and wife, Jane.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
We are holistic coaches and healers, spiritual mentors, and spiritual beings like you having a human experience. And today in this class, which is the first of 5 in our course on abundant living, the class 1 is called Activating Your Inner Resources for Creating an Abundant Life. And this is a very important time to learn more about abundance, to increase your abundance. Why? Why is that? Well, as you know, it's very turbulent times, very divisive times. The light is hitting a lot of the shadows, intensifying divisions among people, races, ethnicities, the environmental crisis, and more. Last year, in the Google searches for mental health, it rose 5,000% from the previous year in 2021 last year. And there was the COVID as well, which is another stressor. And mental health, meaning things like depression, anxiety, suicide, things like of that nature. So it's definitely, the pressure cooker is here. One of the key solutions is to be more abundant. And that means having more freedom. And freedom and abundance is directly interconnected. And for us, for Jane and myself, just briefly, a moment, our stories, years ago, we had become somewhat successful materially, abundance-wise, on the physical level. And we'll talk how abundance is not just physical, of course. We had a house and cars and a pretty good jobs. Jane was an architect. I was an educator. But after a while, like many people, that was not sufficient. We burnt out. Jane became sick. She felt like her soul was dying. I felt like I was going through the motions. And so this seeming level of abundance and satisfaction was not nearly enough because we knew there was so much more to our purpose, to our soul's plan, and it took us on a deep search for more abundance on a deeper, richer level, as we will explain, because there was a lot more to do and to be and to accomplish in our lives, as I think you can relate to that. So there was a lot more available. And when I'm talking about abundance, we're talking about applying to your happiness. There could be physical abundance for your health as well as your wealth. It could be more love, more social connections, more emotional abundance, more spiritual power, more spiritual abundance, more connection, deeper connection with your soul and higher invisible beings like angels, as we will discuss today, beginning to discuss today, and more. And abundant living is really an inside job. It's something that you connect with your inner world, and that is reflected in your outer world. And sometimes there's good places that you're feeling very abundant and other places where it's lacking. And that can be addressed, and you can empower yourself. And that's what we recommend. And that's what this course and this class today is all about. Empowering yourself as a creator. We call it the ultimate paradigm shift. And as you become a creator, your life will go much better in terms of helping yourself and other people. And we're going to provide you today and in this 5-part class, this course, with a lot of resources as well, real ways you can start to connect with your inner world and shift it into your true identity, and it will be expressed in your outer world too. So today is going to be the beginning of this course. So we suggest identifying a single issue for abundance, because there may be many areas you want to be more abundant, more financially free, healthier, better connections, relationships, etc. Find one, and that will help you target and focus and laser in. Otherwise, it's too vague and too diluted, and you may not get the results you really are looking for. Jane, did you want to add anything to that introduction?
No, I don't think so.
So that takes us to what is abundance? What are we talking about here?
Right. And you already started talking a bit about it. It's an interesting topic because I think people look at it in a variety of different ways. Webster's dictionary defines it as an ample quantity, a profusion, referring often to affluence and wealth, and a relative degree of plentifulness. so you could say from a more conventional context, it's really more about material conditions, you could say, like the things that we want physically in our world. If you expand it into a more spiritual context, it's really about connecting with the creative energy of the universe to support us in of abundance of those things, an abundance of joy, an abundance of health, an abundance of prosperity, relationships, supportive relationships, a wonderful career. All of those things apply, as do things like an abundance of love or an abundance of purpose in our lives. So you can actually apply anything to it, an abundance of gratitude. If you think of it, it could be really virtually anything that could expand within your reality. And thinking myself about how I would define abundance is, I would say the essence of it from my perspective is love. And because love is divine love, from the focus on our hearts, really is about a complete state of connectedness. It's a place where everything and anything is available to us. And we limit ourselves because we don't believe that. We don't believe that we're fully connected to the blessings of the universe, to the blessings that are available to us from the beautiful beings of light who are supporting us from above, from all of these different places. And so when we're looking at abundance, and Philip mentioned looking at one thing, it could be, well, I really am looking for the career my soul came here to experience at this time too, because these things shift for us over time. Philip mentioned we had careers at one time that were right for us, and they weren't after a while. So we're looking at our next step also.
Right. I'll add a few more pieces or thoughts into what is abundance, what we're talking about. I like Wayne Dyer had a description or saying, he said, abundance is not something we acquire. It's something you tune into. We tune into it. It's an energy. And it does come from love, as Jane said. And it also includes this access to resources. And again, physical resources, your financial prosperity, better health, emotional abundance, better relationships, better emotional well-being, better mental health, better state of mind, better thinking, better learning, using your mind more creatively and optimally, and spiritual abundance, connecting deeper with your soul and the angels. And a lot of what we do, we're spiritual mentors and healers, and we help people connect more deeply with their soul, as we'll do today and in this 5-part course relative to abundance. So all of that is part of accessing resources. And when I was reflecting on what is abundance, it is a knowingness, just like the love in our heart is a knowingness. And when you have that knowingness, then you start to trust it more and start to heal the parts that are not trusting. And that leads to more giving and receiving in a free way, in a way that's open-hearted, with a clearer mind and a pure intent and a sense of well-being, and even senses of bliss of giving and receiving more freely. And also it involves receiving abundance from expected ways and unexpected ways. We often have a very narrow idea of what abundance is, and it might become in a completely different form. It might be a material form, a material gift, a material opportunity. If someone presents you a material gift, a house, a car, a source of income, it may be finding a solution to your health problem that came out of the blue, right? It could be a wonderful person who comes into your life that shifts your life completely around, that, or a person you had forgotten who came back in. The possibilities are virtually infinite. So unexpected as well as expected sources of abundance is part of understanding abundance in a broad way. So those are a few other thoughts on it. Jane, shall we go on to the wealth of inner resources we're going to be accessing in the course?
Yeah, that would be great. Before we do that, while you were talking about all the different sources of abundance or areas of abundance, a couple that occurred to me too are abundance of miracles and an abundance of magic. Those are both things personally I enjoy having more of in my life. And we can choose how we relate to our reality. We have that choice. Do we want it to be more joyful? Do we want it to be more loving, grateful, miraculous, and have a lot of magic in it? We have that choice. So that's really exciting to me. And in terms of all the things that we're going to be including here, there are many. I think looking at the faces out here, all of your beautiful faces, and so many people I remember from some times far in the past, and some from more recent. It's just beautiful to be with you. So I want to mention that too. I'm so grateful. And I would say one thing about connecting more with the blessings that and all of the resources that are available to us, really I'm focusing on the beings of light who are supporting us from the higher realms. I have such immense gratitude for all of the blessings I've received from them. And this is one of the motivations for me of being here with you now and offering this course, because maybe I should go back to my story a little bit. A while back, I can't remember how long, a year, 2 years, I can't remember. A while back, not too long ago, I had the opportunity to have an angelic Reiki session, with a person. So this was a session for me. As I recall, I didn't know anything about it. And I thought, well, we'll just see what happens. And I don't think I even had anything I was particularly asking for. But in the process of that session, a traumatic incident that had been really traumatizing me for many years cleared just miraculously. And I was just amazed by that. So as I was kind of focusing on that amazement toward the end of the session, I also received this message. There was this angel that appeared and said that he was Archangel Metatron and he wanted to talk to me. I thought, well, okay. Sometimes you hear your guidance and you think, well, what the heck? I don't know what this is about, but I thought I will connect with Metatron. So I did that in my meditation. And what Metatron told me, which I think is applicable to all of us, especially those of us who consider ourselves to be light workers, healers, way showers, people who are deeply interested in spiritual development, people like us. This is a time when we need to have access to all of our resources. And what he was suggesting to me is that I was missing some. And I've been involved, as many of you know, with spiritual development for many, many years, from many perspectives and exploring many things. But I hadn't really connected much with the archangels. And that was his suggestion for me to do that, which has kind of led to many, from my perspective, to many of the things we're going to be talking about here. So actually, I want to present that, but I first want, as resources, I want to make sure that we start with the foundation, which is our own guidance. because what we're doing actually with any of these other resources is we're combining them with the wisdom that each of us holds in our own hearts and souls. And we have processes that are available to those who are in this course. And I think many of you already know the processes that we use for soul centering. We'll be presenting more opportunities to connect with that, that kind of state of connectedness here. But I think everything really is balanced with that, which brings me actually, interestingly enough, just telling a little bit more about the story. So learning about the archangels, I thought, well, I need to have some way to approach this. And I came across this tarot deck called the Angel Wisdom Tarot, where with actually each of the cards, almost all the cards in the deck connect you with one of the archangels. And I thought, well, this would be a great way for me to make those connections and develop those relationships. So I started working with the Angel Wisdom Tarot every morning and connecting with different archangels based on the reading that I received. And I wanted to just very briefly mention something that happened with that, which was when we started talking about having this course, Philip and I did a little reading with the Angel Wisdom Tarot on, I'll actually read. I asked for insights on something that would be particularly valuable for the people who will be attending. And the card that I received, and this is from the major arcana of the Tarot, the Angel Wisdom Tarot, which is the major arcana is the large patterns and archetypal actually energies that we're dealing with here. The card that I received is number 16, balance, which kind of takes me back where I started this part of the conversation. And it's the card says, blending the ideas of others with your own to create something extraordinary. So, and you could extend that a little, blending the ideas from these other resources with your own to create something extraordinary. And that's what I think our purpose is here, for each of us really to open more to what I would call the miracles and the magic and the really amazing opportunities that are available to us that we may be missing, at least to some degree, without having as many resources as we could. And I realize that some of you who I know, and maybe some who I don't know, may have even more experience with the archangels than we have. And we'll be delighted to hear some of your perspectives on it as we go through this. For us, I would say in the time that I've spent connecting with the angels, it's been transformational to me and really taken me in places that I didn't realize were possible with that angelic support. So from the Angel Wisdom Tarot, the angel connected with the balance card is Archangel Zadkiel. In Archangel Zadkiel, it says, Archangel Zadkiel is here to help bring balance to your situation with warm colors rising from one cup and cool colors rising from the other. This is in the image. So it's blending the warm colors and cool colors. And it says with those, the blending of those, the full rainbow of options is present only where they meet. So that is, again, if you're looking at your inner resources and combining them with these outer resources. Archangel Zadkiel is a very powerful archangel also, who is like the considered the educational tutor of the angelic realms. So we could even just invite him now, because we're in this educational situation, and really this is from a higher perspective. We can invite Archangel Zadkiel to join us, and he also brings in a beautiful violet color, which, in addition to be very expansive, is also the the same energy that's used, you could call it the violet flame, with often associated with Saint Germain, which is actually amazing for transmuting energy. And we'll also be exploring that more. I wanted to just bring this up briefly, this reading, because when I reviewed it recently, I thought, wow, that's amazing, because I think that's the way I look at it, is it's a beautiful balance. And the thing that matters most is what feels right to each of us. You'll feel what's right for you in your heart in terms of what you want to explore and what energies you want to invite into your life. So we have our own guidance. We have the oracles. We will be presenting information on using oracles in general and focusing on the Angel Wisdom Tarot. We have developed our own way of using it that has been just amazing for producing daily readings, or you could say, if you might not have time daily, you could in your meditation use it that way, or just regularly. And it's good to receive guidance fairly regularly, I think. And this is like getting enhanced guidance, because you're receiving these different messages from these angels. So we're going to have that, and we'll use the angelic energy also for healing. I started, we actually, Philip and I both, I think, started using it in our holistic coaching and healing program. And I know some of you actually have been or are part of that even now. And with clients, we've been using it. And so we developed something we now call Angelic Eft, which we'll be using here, which is combining EFT with that power, that power of angelic support and angelic healing. And that has been amazing too. So I think that more and more of us are opening to that. I know one of you, the people who is here, I won't mention any names, but who's in our program now, was saying, well, gee, this is great. It has everything except it doesn't include the angels. Well, now it includes the angels. It's because we're looking for our full range of resources.
It's a marriage made in heaven, EFT with angels.
Right. Yeah. So we'll be doing that. We're also going to be, I have to pull these out. We're going to be using dowsing. We're going to talk a bit about pendulums. We've been using pendulums for years and haven't really had much of an opportunity to talk about exactly how we use them. And we're going to also use dowsing rods, which is very interesting. We have used those with clients to help them to see where their energy was in and out of balance. I'll be doing a little bit of that today, and we'll be using those more. A little bit of kinesiology. And of course, we're going to do the angelic EFT and draw on the resources that we have in our Ultimate Paradigm Shift book, which is a really wonderful book. It maps out, it has an overview of our manifestation roadmap in it, and also a lot of information related to how you can keep your spirits, get your spirits up and keep your spirits up in that place where abundance exists. And we'll be talking about that. And actually, I'm going to do a very brief process here in a minute. I have to make it really brief because time is passing quickly. So I think that I could do that now. And what this involves is focusing on the kind of reality that we're creating. So you could say that there is, in some people's minds, they live in a friendly world, and some people live in an unfriendly world. And there's a very distinct difference between those two realities. So just as an exercise, and if you want, you might even close your eyes for a moment and just start out by imagining that you live in a dangerous world where you constantly fear for your life and accept chronic stress as a way of being that's normal and that you just have to accept. And I have the dowsing rods here. I'm going to kind of play with them at the same time. If you can open your eyes if you want to look at them while we're talking about this. And when the dowsing rods go apart, it's kind of like you're further from where you want to be. And when they come together, you're closer. So think of these words, which are part of being in a dangerous world: struggle, lack, failure, anxiety, meanness, anger, loneliness, resentment, confusion, and just how that feels. You might notice what it does to your posture, with the energy level that you have in your body, your sense of well-being, and also how much seems possible in terms of being able to have abundance in that kind of a world. And how powerful you feel in relation to being able to realize your dreams. And with the dowsing rods, now if you want to look, they're pretty much apart. And we can take a few breaths now and shift into imagining that we are in a friendly world. We're in a world where we're always being supported from the higher dimensions by these beautiful beings of light, who are always also inviting us to open to love. And the dowsing rods are moving together. And then when they cross, actually, that's even a higher level of energy. And as we focus on that, just focus on these words: miracles, opportunities, abundance, prosperity, joy, lightheartedness, gratitude, blessings, and the word yes. The word yes is very powerful too. You can read about that in the Ultimate Paradigm Shift. You can say yes, 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 yes to life, and open to the miracles that are there for you. And just notice what happens to your posture as you focus on miracles, on feeling fully alive, on knowing that you are being supported, which is the truth. Notice how much energy you have in your body. Notice your sense of well-being. How much seems possible from that perspective? How you feel about yourself and what you can create. And of course, now the the dowsing rods are crossing, and they're much more joyful in this moment. So what we're suggesting is that we want to be here together in this friendly world, and really maybe on a bigger scale to understand that we're here together in a friendly universe that is here for us, and that life is happening for us. The obstacles that we face are happening as opportunities for us to grow, and the blessings we receive are beautiful and abundant. So that's kind of an overview of where we're starting and where we want to be in creating a more abundant world.
Right.
So Philip, any other thoughts on that?
No, I think that covers it. There's a lot of pieces and they fit together really nicely. And I know just from myself, by using more of the angelic EFT and connecting more with the oracles. And by the way, Jane and I have been sort of working with oracles for decades, now more intensively, and putting them into this course and using them with clients more and teaching it. And it's always been a wonderful tool and resource, and we've expanded it and explored it and interconnected a lot of the pieces and the dots. So I've really enjoyed it, and you just feel more supported. You feel more alive. You feel more like you can handle whatever, because with angelic support, especially in a grounded way, and we'll talk more about what that means, as opposed to just everything my angels will take care of. No, we're not saying that. But in a grounded, practical way, it's a tremendous boost to your energy and resources and love and more. So the next part of class 1 today is this Ultimate Paradigm Shift book that Jane and I wrote. There's a little picture of it there a couple of years ago. And it's a really nice textbook, reference book that we will use for creating abundance. And to give you a sense of it, when I say these phrases, what comes to mind? Follow your heart. Listen to the drum beats, follow your own drum beats, hear the music, go on the road less traveled. So all of that might be stirring a knowingness of you have your own unique path, which is your path to abundance and how you will express yourself and make your contribution and use your abundance access to resources to help yourself and the world. And that's the ultimate paradigm shift, which means becoming the creator of your life. That's the essence of that book that we're going to teach relating to abundance in this course beginning today, right now. And I thought of a quick story. I was trying to think of which story might encapsulate this ultimate paradigm shift. And what came to me was a dream Jane had years ago that we actually wrote about in an earlier book called Getting Through to Your Soul. And in this dream, she saw two roads, two pathways, and one was like kind of a freeway, a common thoroughfare, a lot of traffic, and the other one were very few people, if any, were on there. And she said, I'm going to take the road less traveled. And that led her up a mountain. And as she was going up the mountain, it became more and more difficult, not only because she was ascending, because she realized she had a heavy backpack on. And she could hardly move as she went up and up. And she finally said, why don't I just take off this backpack? I don't really need it. She took it off, emptied it out, and there were all these strange bugs and insects and miscellaneous kind of trashy things that she heavily carrying her way that she didn't need, freeing herself of it. And she was wondering if she had any support. And she turned around, and I was actually behind her, helping her go, and we were journeying together up this mountain. And I had been there all along. She hadn't quite realized it in the dream. And that was kind of an interesting encapsulation of this ultimate paradigm shift of following, hearing the music, the drum beat, the road less traveled, taking it, doing the healing, getting the support, and ascending the mountain to be more connected, more with oneness, more helping the world with your soul's plan and your life purpose. So going into the book, we'll be teaching over this 5-week course relating to abundance is this 7-part roadmap that we've used in different ways. Fits very well into this course. Number 1 is setting your course, which we're going to be doing today. We're doing today. Uncovering. Number 2, uncovering your heartfelt joy. In other words, connecting with your gifts and passions, being in the zone. And 3, connecting with your heartfelt dreams. What is it that you want to do? What's the big picture of why you're here? 4 and 5 are kind of connected. Clear away resistance, eliminate the hold of the past. We'll do some spiritual healing with Angelic Eft and more, and the angels. Number 6, shifting into manifestation mode, finding different approaches that can help you on different levels, with the oracles, with the visualizations, with the mantras. And by the way, stay around to the end of this class, because we're sharing a special abundance mantra with you. And then 7, start to take inspired action. Follow the plans and the strategies you have. Get the support you need. So we'll be going into that specifically each week of this 5-week course. But today we're focusing on setting your course, which is starting out. And what I'm talking about here is beginning to commit to your path, the path to more freedom and abundance. And that means opening yourself up, allowing a little more in, connecting with that energy of being more of who you are and who you can be. And as we said, love is the essence of this connectedness. And you can breathe in the love, and breath is life. Breathing in the love, and you can exhale and send that love out and start to share that in that abundance. And to assist, I'm going to do a little brief visualization with you now. and helping you access abundance from a higher level as you set your course, the first part of the Heart of Success and Abundance roadmap here. And as you relax, and if you can close your eyes, and it allow you to rise to the perfect place. You're just relaxing your body, and the more you relax, the more you also get lighter, and you can start to rise up. And as you relax even more, you can rise up higher and higher, drifting up to the perfect place, the summit of abundance, a place that is wonderfully rich and full and creative for you, just perfect for you.
No, you be quiet. But he's not in.
Yes. And so we're at this perfect summit of abundance, noticing how you feel, just relaxing into it a little more. Maybe you're getting an image or a sense of it. It's kind of coming into focus. Maybe there's some sounds. Maybe a word or words or message. And maybe a feeling and knowingness. Maybe a color or a symbol. There are many different expressions of this abundance from this wonderful perch, this summit apex of abundance for you in whatever way it's being expressed now in this moment. And as you begin to get a sense of this a little more, knowing it can become stronger over time as you continue to focus on it and go further into the training as well, as you connect more and more and become more aware, you can anchor. That means connect. In this case, could be your body. You could put your hand on your heart or just place your hand somewhere as a reminder, a reference and anchor to this wonderful abundance, the knowingness, the color, the sound, the message, the energy for you of abundantness and this wonderful connectedness and access to resources in the right way for you. Okay. And we've been there briefly, knowing that you can return at any time because we'll come back into your seat, grounded, coming back down into your seat, feeling grounded, taking this wonderful energy of abundance with you, knowing you can use it at any time, in any way. Opening your eyes, relaxed, refreshed, back in the room, a little more abundant, maybe a lot more abundant. And if anyone wants to just share briefly, something they experienced, feel free to do it. Just kind of raise your hand or unmute yourself and let us know. We always like to hear people sharing. That's always fun. And that helps you and helps everyone when you share. An abundant experience. Yes, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm, very excited taking this class. And so I was in a really good spot. But as we did that visualization, even higher, which is a great thing for a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, it reminds me of that song, Going Higher. I'm going higher. I can't remember the words.
Higher. Yep.
Higher and higher. Higher love. I love that song. It's a wonderful kind
of.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Right. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing, David. And I know others had experiences, and I'm going to just kind of move forward just because we're.
I wanted to share something.
Oh, please share, Jane.
And this is something that has happened to me, I would say, during this time when since I opened to the angels and all of these different blessings. We have a spiritual channel. I think probably many of you, or maybe all of you, are familiar with it, that there's a channel of light that goes all the way from our source through our body down into the center of the earth. And we can balance energy and draw energy in both directions, which actually brings us into this kind of balance between heaven and earth, which is really beautiful. Something that I started doing in my meditations is going up the channel. And I go up to a place, and I mention this because other people might relate to the idea of finding what it is for you. I go up through the dimensions I ask to go to the highest dimension I can reach. And at the top, at that place, at the highest dimension I can reach, is a place I call my heavenly home, which to me is a place where anything is possible, where the whole universe is there laid out before me. And the angels are, well, the angels sometimes accompany me there. They certainly are very present there. But that's just something you might want to experiment with. Like what is that like for you, going to your heavenly home in the higher dimensions? Because that is a great place for guidance too.
Many places to get your guidance from.
Right.
Especially when you're supported and you're in an environment like this, which is conducive. So that takes us to the next piece of class 1 on activating your inner resources for creating an abundant life. And that is busting limiting beliefs. It's a process we developed called the Super Belief Buster process. There's a checklist for it. And Jane's going to conduct Sharon into this process. Sharon?
There's Sharon.
There you are. You can unmute yourself, Sharon, please. Go ahead, Jane.
Yes, and if you look at that idea of being in a friendly universe, the thing that actually takes us into this, actually the illusion of separation. And this, I think, is an interesting thing too, which I didn't realize. It was relatively recently that I realized that we view ourselves as being separate from the angels, separate from God, separate from the things we want. And we view that as an objective truth, like we have to find a way to be connected. Well, we're always connected. It is the illusion is that we're separate. So if you look at that, really the thing that is holding us in that state of limitation from a mental level is limiting beliefs about reality. Like, well, I can't have this because I'm not, good enough. I don't have the education or whatever it is. We have these excuses. Like there's the one that I really think is interesting is this is just the way I am, right? Like, well, I'm timid. This is just the way I am. I've always been this way. I always will be. I can only do so much because I'm this timid person or whatever it is. Or I could never have the abundance of joy that I would want to have because I've always been critical. That's just the way I am. Well, what if we explore all of those little areas? That's just the way I am. And what if we could just clear them with Angelic Eft for one, as one question? This is something I've been examining in myself, and we've been doing this for decades. And I still find they become more and more subtle. But what is it you tell yourself? It's just the way I am. That means that you're not good enough for something, or you just couldn't possibly have the blessings you want because of whatever it is. And that's a belief. It also is a perspective on a deeper level. It's a perspective on who we are. Like, I'm not worthy of, and this was a big thing for me. I'm not worthy of having God share, share love with me, or I'm not worthy of being blessed by these beautiful archangels. Why would they come to me? And that's our perspective. It is a limiting perspective on who we are, because we're all worthy. We're all magnificent. We're all here to be exactly who we are. And I think it's really important to realize that as kind of a foundation in exploring, well, how can I open more to the blessings that life has for me? So if you look at that, then, okay, so it is really about beliefs. It's helpful to have ways to identify those beliefs, for one thing, and then to clear them. So we're going to do an example of that. We have, I have to find we have this handout, which is on your resource page for those of you who joined the course, the Super Belief Buster checklist, which if you're not sure what it is that's holding you back, you can use the Super Belief Buster checklist to help you to identify what it is. And I know that that happens. It happens to all of us. It's kind of like, I know something's off, but I just can't quite identify what it is. And this is our reason for using things like pendulums and kinesiology and dowsing rods, you know, whatever ones appeal to you if you're attracted to using those kinds of things. And the Super Belief Buster checklist is what we can use to identify those limiting beliefs in a specific area of abundance that we're seeking. So Sharon has been kind enough to volunteer, and she presented an area she would like to have what I would term an abundance of confidence. Does that sound of creative confidence? Because you mentioned confidence to pursue creative ideas that I don't follow through with. And a lot of times we won't follow through on things because for whatever reason, we believe it's not possible, right? If we believe that these creative ideas would bring blessings of abundance to us, and it would be an abundant opportunity to share, why wouldn't we? Do you want to say more about that, Sharon?
I have so many ideas that just download. And so then I research and I make plans and I stop. And I don't know why.
Okay, good. And that's a beautiful example. And it's not an uncommon, I think it's not an uncommon one. It's interesting being in the position that we're in as trainers. We, over the years, often have talked to other trainers. And there was one woman, we would attend conferences that she was actually the woman, she was the head of the conferences, head of a hypnotherapy organization. And she said that they offer a lot of continuing education courses because they don't believe in themselves enough, they think they need more education. And sometimes we do. I'm not saying we don't. There are times when learning is really valuable for us. But there also are times to take action. And I think this is what Sharon is saying, is that she's at this point of taking action and it isn't happening. But they offer a lot of continuing education courses because people want education more than they want to learn how to get those ideas out into the world because they don't believe they can. But like, I'm not good enough yet. You know, I'm and kind of like me, who would want to listen to me? You know, how can I possibly reach into the higher realms? I'm not worthy. Anyhow, so the Super Belief Buster checklist is interesting for those who are familiar with EFT. It's kind of a combination of what in EFT is called the levels of PR, and also some other areas that we've identified. For a while we have a belief buster process. So we're going to just take it a little further. So what I'm thinking of, and I have these giant dowsing rods, Sharon, is just if you want to repeat after me, like, so we can call it creative confidence. Is that okay? Just to be able to describe it. So creative confidence is a good thing. Just say that and we'll measure your energy. Creative confidence is a good thing.
Creative confidence is a good thing.
Okay, so the dowsing rods are together, which means yes. In general, having creative confidence is possible.
Having creative confidence is possible.
Right, and it is. Some people have it, we know that. So then there is more personally, creative confidence is good for me.
Creative confidence is good for me.
Yes, that's a yes. It's crossing again. Creative confidence is good for others.
Creative confidence is good for others.
That's true. Okay, we got that. Here we're taking it to another level now. Creative confidence is possible for me.
Creative confidence is possible for me.
It doesn't look like it here. The the pendulum or the dowsing rods went apart. Let's go a little further. Creative confidence is safe for me.
Creative confidence is safe for me.
Okay, it's safe. It's just not possible. I really want creative confidence.
I really want creative confidence.
It looks like they're crossing more they're crossing more, which means that it's even better. You really do want it. It just hit me in the head. Okay, here's another one. I really deserve creative confidence.
I really deserve creative confidence.
That looks good. I will do everything necessary to create creative confidence.
I will do everything necessary to create creative confidence.
So it's still a yes, which all we have now is it's not possible. If it was possible, she would do everything necessary to create it. It's just that it's not possible in her mind so far. I will allow myself to have creative confidence.
I will allow myself to have creative confidence.
That's not so strong. Okay. I am free of issues that might block the flow of creative confidence into my life.
I am free of issues that might block creative confidence into my life.
Let me just... It looks like this is a good thing to note. Here they're kind of partway there. So she believes it somewhat, but not completely. Or it is true somewhat but not completely. It's just kind of partway there. And I'm just marking these two. I am free of limiting beliefs that might block the flow of creative confidence into my life.
I am free of limiting beliefs that might block the flow of confidence into my life.
So this is the same. You're partway there. You've worked on it, but you're just not all the way there yet. I am free of reservations that might block the flow of creative confidence into my life. Wait a minute. I'm they're kind of going. Can you say that one? I'm free of reservations that might block the flow.
I am free of reservations that might block creative confidence into my life.
That's kind of moderate too. So those are somewhat. Okay, I think that gives us a good sense of it. So the ones that were weak, the weakest one is that it's possible for me and I will allow myself to have it. Do you see just offhand any, or are you aware of any reasons why it would not be possible for you?
No, I don't know why not.
Okay. It kind of, then we went into the ones like issues, limiting beliefs, reservations. Are you aware of any issues, reservations? Like issues like you might fail or, things that.
Yeah, I might make the wrong decision, make the wrong move in some way.
Meaning? Choose the wrong thing or not approach it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, choose the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. Okay. If you knew that you would be able to make the wrong move, or no, if you knew that you would be able to make the right move, would it be possible for you? I guess If I knew I could make the right move.
If I knew I could make the right move.
Creative.
Toward creative
ideas.
Ideas.
The manifestation of them would be possible for me.
The manifestation of them would be possible for me.
Right. So what you're saying then is it's stopping you because you're afraid of going in the wrong direction or somehow making the wrong move. If you could make the right move, then it would be possible for you, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
And the wrong move would, I'm afraid of wasting money and not having it be a productive thing.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, so it comes down to a fear of wasting money because you might make the wrong move. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So does that feel like it's clearer to you now than it was when we started?
Yes.
Because you mentioned you didn't know exactly what was going on. And this is the real blessing of these kinds of like checklists and being able to question ourselves in a deeper way, whether you do it with something like that, like a dowsing rod or a pendulum, or just asking yourself the questions. The benefit of using a dowsing, like a dowsing rod or a pendulum or muscle testing, is that it can identify things that might be so unconscious. Even if you went down the list, you might not get it. Right. But so we have then, would you like to do some angelic EFT to clear the fear of wasting money? Okay, so when you focus on that fear, how strong is it?
Oh, about an 8.
Mm-hmm. And is there a place you feel it in your body?
Solar plexus.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense for those who know the solar plexus. That's about our power, right? Mm-hmm. And what do you feel there?
A tightening.
Mm-hmm. And how strong is that from 1 to 10?
That's an 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Strong.
Okay. Anything else you'd want to mention about that?
It's very constricting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. And just in relation to, we're here, another thing we talk about a lot is we're here to feel fully alive. And if you're not actually able to manifest or to create the things that these creative ideas, how does that make you feel in relation to aliveness?
Just mediocre, unfulfilled, really.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's probably the constriction, right? Like it's blocking your aliveness. We're here, to be alive, to be fully embracing the things that make us feel excited about being alive. And I just wanted to mention that because it's something for all of us to be kind of watching, because when we start feeling less alive, kind of like when my soul was dying, then, there's something to look at for us. And that's a great example. So thank you for mentioning that. Okay, so I'm going to suggest we have an EFT process called the happy tap. On
the top.
Right. And I would like to invite an angel to join us make it angelic. And I wonder, Sharon, do you enjoy magic?
Magic?
Yes, like having magical healing.
Oh, well, that would be good. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the angel I would like to invite to join us, if this sounds good to you, Sharon, is Archangel Razio, who is known as the magician of the angelic realms. Okay. So we can start, and everybody can receive energy from Razio. I invite Razio to join me a lot because I love magic. And Razio comes to us in a rainbow of light. I also love rainbows personally. Yeah. And Sharon has a little rainbow of colors there behind her. So we can invite Razio to join us. And to have the angels come, all you have to do is, it's an intention. Some people say, well, you have to mention their name 3 times. And, it's kind of like, then you need to turn around twice. And it's not like that. They know, they hear us. So we want to invite Razio to bless all of us who are open to his light to join us right now. And he's going to shower us with a beautiful rainbow of light. And I would suggest also that, to me, it's sparkling. The sparkles, I think, add a little energy to it. So we can imagine surrounding ourselves by these sparkles of rainbow light. And also, Sharon, you can invite that into your body, into all of the cells of the body as we begin our happy tap. So do you feel like you're ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, and Razio is going to support the process. So you would say, even though I have this fear of wasting money, this fear, we know what the fear is, right? And what is related to, without having to repeat it. So even though I have this fear of wasting money, and another way you can also do the beginning is hold your hands here across your heart. We'll make it more heart-centered. Even though I have this fear, I can happily say yes to my creative confidence.
I can happily say yes to my creative confidence.
Even though I have this fear, I can happily say yes to my creative confidence. So just say it 2 more times.
Even though I have this fear, I can happily say yes to my creative confidence. Even though I have this fear, I can happily say yes to my creative confidence.
Okay, and now we'll start tapping. So we tap starting on the top of the head. For those who don't know EFT, you can just start tapping where we're tapping. Tap usually 5 to 10 times. I'm tapping more, and you tap lightly, and then inside of the eyebrow. Happy, happy, happy.
Happy, happy.
Side of the eye.
Happy.
Below the eye. Happily opening to creative confidence now.
Happily opening to creative confidence now.
And below the nose, just tapping. Sometimes we'll tap without saying anything. It's fine. Just with that intention of opening. In the chin. Collarbone, that's right here. Below the collarbones. Side of the body, kind of hugging yourself. And then we add the reset. So you tap on the top of your head. I know that anything is possible.
I know that anything is possible.
And in the heart, and miracles are happening now.
And miracles are happening now.
And receiving more of those angelic blessings. Just let me know what you're noticing now, Sharon.
Like rainbow confetti. Glitter.
How do you feel about the fear of wasting money, making the wrong move?
I can move ahead without that big fear. It's like a 3 or a 4 now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the tightness in your solar plexus, what are you noticing there?
It's gone.
Wonderful. Okay. And just, I'm trying to, well, trying to decide. Would you like to do another round of EFT or invite Archangel Zadkiel in to bless you with some violet healing light?
Yeah, let's bring him on in.
Bring Zadkiel in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we can just now invite Archangel Zadkiel to join us and bless us with a downpouring or an outpouring, a blessing of that beautiful violet light, which is some people would call the violet flame. You can envision it in whatever way feels right to you. Sparkles of violet light, a violet flame, just the most beautiful color of violet light flowing over you, all around you, and through you. And it does transmute energy. So it actually, it's like alchemy, changing lead into gold, that we can ask that light to just clear any remaining parts of that fear and just allow anything that is not appropriate for opening fully to that creative expression that you want to subside, to be transmuted into creativity, creative energy, and creative flow, of an abundant flow of creative energy. How does that feel?
I feel like I want to charge forth into pursuing one of my ideas at least.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how strong is the fear now?
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, wonderful. And I do want to mention regarding the violet flame and Saint Germain, Archangel Zadkiel, violet light, however it feels right to you to receive it. Something that really amazed me about it when I started using it, Philip and I actually, we knew about it 30 years ago, and I kind of, the way it was presented at the time and the way you might see it presented on YouTube, it just didn't, I couldn't resonate with it, which is again, looking at that balance. Like you want to have the balance between what feels right in your heart to receive and the way that you receive it, because you should receive it in the right way for you. And then what you do when you do that, the interesting thing is that it transmutes whatever is blocking you into love and joy. And I was very surprised when I started doing this. I hadn't heard that, but I was noticing, well, gosh, I do this and then I feel really happy.
Yeah, that's it.
And of course, when we feel joyful and happy, isn't that abundance? So much is possible. When we're happy, it's like everything's fine. It's like, oh, sure, of course this is possible. I'm just going to go out and create this abundance now.
Sort of compost those negative limiting beliefs into joy and abundance.
Right. So we have the angelic happy tap.
There you
go. I love that.
And I do want to take this opportunity also. I think I highly recommend also thanking the angels when they come and bless us. I feel so deeply grateful for them. And I just want to thank Archangel Zadkiel and Raphael. And I guess, who did we invite? I invited Zadkiel at the beginning. So Zadkiel and Raphael, or Zadkiel and Razio for being with us and interacting with us and supporting us. Does that feel complete, Sharon?
Oh, it does. I want to get wonderful. Busy.
Oh, good. Yes, and have fun.
Yes.
Okay, and you can invite Razio to join you and have magic.
Absolutely.
Magic and creativity. I think actually magic and creativity go well together. As a note, also, Archangel Zadkiel is supposed to be kind of like the spiritual guru of the angelic realms too. So you have the the angelic teacher and the angelic guru and the angelic magician, all in just 1 hour here that we've been together.
And the flame too.
Right. As a note, we will, for those who are actually signed up for the course, in the resource area, we haven't put it there yet, but we're going to have a PDF on the angels and some of their qualities, 15 angels, and some of their angelic gifts that they offer, so that you can start to learn more about them with that too. And that will be coming within the next week. We have some of the resources there. We're still producing them and creating them as we speak here. So thank you, Sharon. That was beautiful.
You.
So that was great. Thanks, Sharon. Did we want to mention, as we're getting toward the close of class 1 of the Abundant Living with Angels, Oracles, and EFT course, and the class 1, I like the title now after what we just witnessed, participated with Sharon, activating your inner resources for creating an abundant life. Right, Sharon? Yeah, so we're all doing that. And so here are some recommendations of things that we're going to be covering going further in this 5-part course. This is class 1.
Well, we want to mention a few things to obtain for people, if possible. And so one of them is, yesterday I created a little PDF that showed pendulums. So if you don't have a pendulum, we actually show how you can make one for under $1 in this. And it's a good way just to experiment with it. We also have a very kind of different way we use pendulums. So this is the one you can make for under $1. It's got a couple of little hardware items and some dental floss. So it's like the easiest possible way to get started with a pendulum. And the ones we use, you can see in the illustration on the PDF too, it has a much shorter cord. And I'll show you next time why it is that we use this particular one instead of the more common. This is a more common one, a much longer one with a heavier, this is a quartz crystal, which is very nice, which a much heavier pendulum. But you might want to have a pendulum. These, again, all of these are your own choices. You can make one for less than $1 and use that. You may want to obtain the Angel Wisdom Tarot too. You don't have to have it for this course, but we are going to show you how we use it. And we found it to be really valuable for learning about the archangels and receiving powerful, powerful messages, kind of like the one that I shared. I only shared a portion of actually that message that I received when I asked about the course, about that balance. But I thought that was so right. Because we're not trying to tell you to reach outside of yourself for truth. We're trying to reach outside of ourselves to actually amplify the wisdom that we have within ourselves through these other resources.
The Angel Wisdom Tarot is by Rodley Valentine.
Right. And we actually will be using the tarot starting in the 3rd class. So there's some time to purchase it. And we will be, there will be resources on getting started with that too in the resource area for you. We also, I think we already put up a checklist of the 15 angels. You could even just go through the list of the angels and test, whether there's one who wants to share a message with you. I mean, that's something you can do anytime. That's just a starting place for you. So I think that's about it.
Yes. And just a few other handouts, just as that how to make a pendulum. That's super belief buster process we did today with Sharon. And there's going to be more coming. So
yeah, so those are on the resource page now.
And they're also, and also with the course, there's there's the couple video demonstrations like the one we did with Sharon. Jane and I did a few other ones that we recorded, so you'll get recordings of how to do angelic EFT and oracle readings. And those are nice to see and have, besides all the live ones coming up in the remaining 4 classes to complete this course. And just the engagement and the energy, and even if you can't be there live, they're each Wednesday at this time for the class. They're recorded in both the video version, and we'll make an audio version for easy to access and download too. And we'll probably put some more things in as we go on, as things come up in the moment.
Right. One other thought about
Yes.
the happy tap is the happy tap is in the ultimate paradigm shift. It really is, for those who know EFT, it really is just the affirmation. And I actually added happily to this, even though I have this and you have the block, you can write that down. I happily say yes to, and whatever it is, kind of abundance you want to create, you can do that and invite Archangel Razio or Zadkiel or both to join you and use that. It's interesting that in the book it says, if you're happy, if you're feeling good, then nothing else matters. That's a quote. I thought that was really interesting. And there is a truth to that. You might notice, when you're feeling good, when you're joyful, the world looks good.
By the way, the Paradigm Shift book that we've been beginning to discuss and teach today, comes with the course, and there's a download in the resource section.
Yeah, the PDF.
And there's also what we call our holistic EFT quick start kit so people who don't know or want a quick review of EFT. There's some videos and handouts and manuals on that too that you get with the course as well.
Right. So it's been fun.
It has been fun. Do you want to just briefly, Jane, share that bonus tip, that bonus little mantra that we want to let
yeah, we can talk about it a little more next time, but the summary of it might be, and I'll use Sharon's example. It is, I love blank and blank loves me, and I welcome more blessings of this into my life, or abundant blessings of it into my life. And so with Sharon's, it could be like, I love my creative ideas, and I welcome them to manifest synchronously and joyfully into my life. You can, however you want to say, however it's going to manifest, but it's, I love blank and blank loves me. And then how you want it to appear in your life. I've used it, actually, the first time I used this, which I read or heard about on, I think it was a video I was listening to one time. A trainer recommended, I think he was saying, I love people and they love me and they want to be in my course or something like that. And so I was going to attend a seminar with this particular person. And I remembered that they said they were going to have prizes there. They were going to give prizes to people. And I thought, I'm going to just use this. And so I said, I love prizes and prizes love me. And I'm going to receive a prize when I'm in this course. So I said it, I had lots of time to say it because I was driving. So I just repeated that to myself over and over, casually. And when I got there, I kind of forgot about it more or less. And they gave out a prize here and a prize there. And then one time they were giving out another prize and I wasn't really even paying attention. And then I heard my name and I won $1,000.
So there.
So if you love the blessings of abundance, you can welcome more into your life.
So we'll be sharing other little mantras and sayings throughout the 5-part course, and you can adapt them. And the idea is they have ones that you relate to, that feel good to you, and to repeat them so they become part of your awareness and consciousness and your self-talk.
Right.
Reprogramming yourself.
Yeah.
Well, this was class 1. It's been a lot of fun. It's the Abundant Living with Angels Oracles EFT Transformational Course with Philip and Jane Montrose. The description page, if you haven't registered yet, is tinyurl.com/abundant-living, the 5 classes with the bonuses. and all the handouts and more. So great being with you, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you next time.